Hello everyone and welcome. We are here just after RuneFest finishing up on the Tuesday, of course. It's a pleasure. First of all, hello to you, Mod Osborne. Obviously, you were very upset that you couldn't be at RuneFest, but you're back.
Well, it was kind of.
Yeah.
I was in A4 format.
Yes.
It was lovely. There were some really nice things. Obviously, you said some very nice things on stream, and I got into some photos as well. But yeah, I was watching from a hospital bed on my iPhone. So catching everything that was going on. Yeah, it was really good, and thank you so much to all the people who covered me as well, because I was going to talk a lot on stage, and people covered me.
Yeah, because you had a little section in the law marathon as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and I was going to be on the sofa with you and throwing t-shirts into the audience and generally promising things that I shouldn't. So that was my general role, but other people took that from me.
And obviously, just to Osborne's left, we have Mod Ramen, to my right, Mod Mohawk and Mod Ryan as well. So let's get into a quick introduction of this week's updates. Ram, I'm throwing it over to you. You can take this one.
Cool.
Go ahead.
This week saw the introduction of the Lost Grove, a big island as big as Prifddinas. Introducing 3 new Slayer creatures, a new weekly D&D, and the new Cinderbane gloves, and it's gone down a treat. I'm really happy, really happy with it.
I want to talk about a couple of things really quickly. One being, of course, the little reference we put in, of course, to Chester Barrington. Do you want to talk about that really quickly?
Yeah.
Bennington.
Sorry, Bennington. Oh, sorry, I'm totally not with it today. Bennington, thank you.
Yeah, so basically, I was already working on this update, and the night he passed, I was pretty upset. I was listening to One More Light, and then I remote desktoped in to my work PC, and I did it on the night, and I was just like, yeah, I'm happy with that, because it fits nicely with the place, and it's a small little tribute, and it went down really nicely on the Linkin Park Reddit and the RuneScape Reddit. It was almost on the front page of Reddit all, which was kind of cool.
But you're a huge fan, aren't you?
Yeah. I love Linkin Park.
You're making me getting all choked up.
Yeah.
I just want to mention as well, just as a heads up for people watching on Twitch, we are on a 3-minute delay, I believe, as a result of what we did at RuneFest when we ran the RuneFest stream. Fortunately, we didn't catch it before we went live, so if you want to have live reactions, you can just watch it on YouTube, or you can join in with the chat as well on Twitch, really up to you. Just a heads up for people going, well, wait, why is it this, and so on. RuneFest, I just want to go through excuse me, everything we went through really quickly and then pose a question. So just to clarify everything we went through, which was Clue Scroll, Skilling, Offhands, and Oktoberfest, but as a note, we will talk about that next week, so keep an eye out for that. Combat Pets, Pieces of Hate, Deep Sea Fishing, Safecracking, The Lost Grove, Solak, Group Ironman, Dimension of the Damned, Mining, Smithing, Bank, Rework, and Clans. Now, why did we only talk about active projects?
Yeah, you could probably imagine when we were kind of talking about RuneScape reveals, we're in a tough place. We'd already kind of committed to unfinished business, and that was a lot of stuff that people already knew about. So to go out on stage and only talk about the things that were already there on unfinished business was problematic. That some people expect hype. They like to see some new things. They like to see the glittery, sparkly things. But then there's also, on the flip of that, we could have done what Old School did, and they had a fantastic talk. And they kind of dropped a number of kind of new content bombs, and they went down really well. We could have gone that route. But then we would have been committing to new things on top of unfinished business. People would be like, you know, kind of, what is your focus? What are you doing? Also, there'll be things far into the future, and people want to know that they are going to be worked on and going to come out. So we made the decision to only talk about things that we're actively working on and that generally going to come out in the next 6 months. I mean, there's some exceptions to, in terms of Clans, Bankley work, and Mining and Smithing, which we said in the talk. But yeah. All stuff we're working on.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we don't want to overpromise. I think that was an issue we did last year.
Yeah.
If I look back at the stuff we announced at the reveals, I think we released 4 out of the, I think it was 9 or 10 that we announced in the reveals. And obviously, we don't ever want to be in that situation.
We just want to show a bit more humility and actually like really talk about the things that we know are going to happen. It might change next year. We might go a little bit further out. But right now, that was the right thing to do. Reaction has been mixed. There's some people who don't necessarily understand why we did what we did, but I think it's coming around a little bit.
Cool. Well, it's a general question to everyone here. How did you all find RuneFest?
Sick.
It was good.
How'd the combat talk go?
This is my 3rd combat talk, and this one I was most nervous about because we kind of took a step back from doing, after seeing Ryan's and Timbo's performance, actually rehearsal in-house. We were like, you know, these are people who know about the combat system. They're not here to like hear a reveal. So we took the decision last minute to sort of tone it back to more of a a sit down talk and have like a one-on-one with a not really a one-on-one, but more up close and personal. So I was nervous going in, and it showed a little on stage, but I was really happy with the outcome and people.
You were packed out as well.
Yeah, no.
I think we've got to learn this, like the second stage.
You bumped us down to second stage.
Combat was full.
Skilling was full as well.
Yeah, even to be honest, we all, like, the stage this year was bigger.
Yeah.
And it was still full. So yeah.
Yeah, you get the chatter of the PCs. I think we've got to learn. We're going to learn from that for next year and like see if we can do something about it. Give like maybe you guys a bit more of a platform.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
What about yours, Mum? What did you enjoy the most about RuneFest?
I think that I don't know. It was just so slick. You guys, like, I think the cosplay. I missed doing the cosplay and being there for that. And there were some real stellar outfits there, like some really top-notch ones. And it wasn't just your T-skits. It was really good.
Mohawk?
Cosplay was epic. I'm very happy that I can now talk about the update I've been working on for like 4 months. But then like the dark room was amazing. That was really funny.
Yeah, I wish we could have streamed that. That was something.
Was it recorded? Because I was upstairs like eating quinoa bars.
Eating quinoa.
I was in my own little world.
When I think I know you, you just change it.
Quinoa
it's like
bars.
Linkin Park quinoa. I don't get it.
He's a bit of a fake hipster though, isn't he? So,
Is that what he is?
yeah, I think he's pretending to be a hipster.
My
Hipster, you're a
goodness.
hipster.
To be fair, I do listen to Linkin Park on a vinyl player. So,
See?
Oh, there it is.
Hipster.
that's probably
On a gramophone.
Oh my goodness. Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, you lost me. Skilling talk was really good.
Of course,
Play your
I
own
was.
trumpet.
I'm tooting my own horn. I mean, Skilling talk went really well. I was really nervous going into it. It was my first talk.
I could tell you were pretty nervous just before, to be fair.
Yeah, but once I went into it and started talking about it, I thought, I just went with it and I started talking and I realised, it's the game I love, so it was very easy to talk about. I came out of it and Ramen told me I smashed it, which was nice. It made the rest of the day a lot easier once I did the talk, but ultimately, talking with the players was really good. I always learn a lot from talking to them. They also seem to learn a lot as well when we talk to them just about what's going on, so it's a really good experience.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to jump into a couple other news stuff. I want to talk about where we are at with the drop rate blog.
Yeah, I think Timbo kind of underestimated how much work it was going to be for RuneFest.
Yes.
I think. And so it's been delayed a week, I believe.
He posted, I believe, on Friday saying he apologises. That was obviously the day we were also travelling to RuneFest.
Yep.
I believe he's going to be sorting it out for this Friday.
Yeah, so he's not been in today or yesterday, so he'll get on it.
Room flu.
Yeah, room flu. And obviously about the cursed energies, I don't know if there's much we want to say on that, apart from obviously the changes we made to cursed energies for this week's update, which meant that if you had cursed energies on you, you couldn't teleport or log out, I believe. So do we want to say anything about that at all, or why we made it?
No, it's just to highlight that it's done and there, I think.
Okay.
Just because obviously it dominated a lot of chatter yesterday.
Cool. All right, we've got a couple of questions. Got a question actually on the Lost Grove for you, Raman. So, with the recent Cinderbane gloves, which are a hybrid, and the recent Nightmare gloves for range and the gloves of passage for melee, can we expect a tier 85 magic glove as well?
Yeah. Actually, they are. We already know what they are and what kind of effect they have. So
Awesome. And in addition, why so many gloves and why no love for boots yet?
why not finish the glove before we got into boots?
Good shout. Alrighty, clue scrolls. Do we have these videos good to go? It's saying on here we have 4 videos ready to play. Okay, so we're going to bring up these videos in just a moment so we can play them based on what was shown at RuneFest on clue scrolls. And when that comes out, we can talk about that a little bit. So we'll wait for the first one to come up.
Yeah, I don't think they got audio, so we might talk.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of narration over
that's
it.
Attenborough style. Yeah, okay, yeah, that way.
World of clues.
Go for it.
Look at this badass. Check him out. What's he got? Oh, look. It's a new video on Flaming Sword Effect. So, yeah, the one that we showed at RuneFest. Only didn't quite go to the tip. We're now going to the tip here.
I knew people would laugh at that.
So the one that we showed at RuneFest was more work in progress than we'd like, and now we get to actually show it off to.
So that's been modified since RuneFest.
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
Yeah,
that's really
there were
cool.
some comments, and that's fair. That it didn't quite go to the end, as it were. But the aim is that the team do something kind of some technical whiz-bangery that means that it's more kind of dynamic, so that it can go to the end of a number of weapons rather than like dies where you have to do it all manually. Do something that actually kind of means that it'll be easy to update other weapons.
What did you call it? Technical
whiz-bangery.
Okay.
That's
a new one.
That's a new one for me.
That'll be a new one. It's like the opposite of spaghetti code.
I think Mod Days tweeted some updated images earlier.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, so we obviously mentioned, of course, the Clue Scroll outfit. Just want to reiterate what we said on stream as well. You get the Clue Scroll outfit from actually opening up Clue Scrolls, so you get the pieces from them. So what Timbo clarified on stream when we did our aftermath, I guess is the right word of it, the reveals. We've got another video here, I believe, of the outfit in action.
To clarify, the clarification is, it's a meta kind of reward. The idea is that by doing a number of Clue Scrolls, you slowly kind of work towards it like you would an achievement. So it's not something you get from a lockbox or something like that. But I was talking to the guys earlier, and they've got ideas for how it will be basically centralising a lot of things that you'd expect to use for Clue Scrolls. So it would act like emote clues for certain slots. You know what I mean. And it would maybe centralise teleport scrolls, have them on there. Right, do a number of things, but those are the concepts for it.
A little bit of a concept there. I love the little spade that pokes out at the back there. It's pretty cool. There's actually a point in here about mixed feedback on the Ice Iron Flame effect. I mean, you've already just mentioned from that video that we've already tried to jump on that, so it's obviously very reassuring to see.
And, I know some people, particularly off the back of the poll as well, were a bit disappointed with the Ice Die. Again, we're looking into that. We've got feedback from it, so we're looking at kind of. Let me get the words right, because they gave me, rather than bangery, I want exact words. So we're looking at animated textures and environment mapping on it. So it will have an improved look.
With the book slam as well.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I think we have, we've got something here that says show awards. So do we want to show that? I don't know what that means. It says show awards. Okay, right. So we just so that's the concept that we just brought up, which was
the second age
and the Ice Die as well. So use the Ice Die as well.
Yeah, in terms of the second age gear, which we showed, there were some people who were saying that it's quite pale. The intent was that because you get kind of these second age stuff, like certain elements of it, not a full set, you get from Clue Scrolls, that they mix and match with a lot of things. So for your fashionistas, you can kind of mix and match it.
And that's the second age, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And whenever you think of second age, you always think of Zaros. So we thought we'd go. Actually, Saradomin is pretty prominent in the second age, so we've gone slightly against the grain. That's something surprising.
Cool. Just before we jump into the next section, I saw a little question on Lost Grove there, Ram. I'm just going to throw it over to you. In regards to people saying it's empty, I suppose the way we can look at it is we have all of this to play around with, right?
Yeah, we definitely do. No, it's not the last of the Lost Grove you'll see. So
it's also nice to show the scale.
The last thing I really wanted to do with Slayer creatures was just extend Curadel's cave and stick them at their back and say here's a 50 agility shortcut. I wanted to push the boat out to a new island.
Except
it's not a boat anymore.
It's not a boat.
It's not a boat.
Portscape.
Yeah, kind of just wanted to make a really pretty environment, and it is pretty. So.
Do you want to talk about the examines as well? The examines on the island.
Yeah. Roman gave me the opportunity to be a bit creative and do some examines. It's only, it only was an hour's work, but it was just nice for him to give me something creative to do.
Getting them plugged in tonight and then translation of them tomorrow, so we hope we have them up Monday.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Next one, can we bring up the image on Skillet Offhands? Ryan, I'm going to throw this over to you if you want to talk about this a little bit. So we'll bring up the image now.
So, I can't go into full detail of them all because I don't remember what they do specifically. But Og did a really good really good explanation of all of these. But essentially the idea of a skilling offhand is something we got from Sliske's endgame. It introduced the offhand item there. And skilling offhands is the idea that we're expanding that out. So it's essentially an item that you can have in your offhand that benefits you in various ways during skilling. These ones are themed in a certain way, and that's how that offhand affects your skills. I believe so. As an example, the sacrifice one, the idea is that we want to just take what the Darrock's effect does, so the lower health you are, the better it is. And we want to take that into skilling, so we want to add that idea that the lower health you are, the more beneficial it is to your skills, whether that gives you a success increase, that sort of thing. And the skilling offhands themselves are also going to have the idea of a group effect if you're wearing it with an outfit, the outfit equivalent. So let's just say sacrifice worked with woodcutting specifically. If you're wearing the woodcutting outfit, it becomes like a group set bonus. That's something we're looking into. Unfortunately, Timbo isn't here, but he is working on this in terms of design right now when he's in. So we should be able to actually get more information out on them as a whole over the next couple of weeks, I imagine.
Yeah. The set effect isn't solely the skilling outfits, is it? There are other skilling kind of contributors that create a group effect. Because a lot of people are saying like it's only available via Treasure Hunter, certain of the outfits, things like that.
So it's with the base outfit, not the elite outfits, and all base outfits are now obtainable in game.
Yeah.
However, yeah, I believe there may be some cases where, as an example, we don't have a skilling outfit for fire making, but we have gloves and a ring from the All Fired Up minigame, so they would work with that. It's essentially items that we will get the list out at some point, but it's essentially items that are available in that skill that you would use when skilling. When you go woodcutting, you wear lumberjacks if you have it, that sort of idea.
I remember Tim was saying there is a new, we're now calling them hero item coming to this. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit? Obviously not really much to say regarding it at the moment, but
That's fine. So hero items is a really cool idea that we ran with originally for Hazelmir's Ring. It's the idea that making some really cool, unique item that can essentially have some really interesting effects because of how rare it is, and it links to a hero themselves. Like Hazelmir's Ring has the chance of doubling drops, which is really awesome, but it's a rare item, it's expensive. And he wants to look at doing essentially like a mini quest to get a, offhand, it's a crystal, I believe. It's related to, oh, my lore isn't great. I couldn't tell you the name of the elf, but I believe it's related to an elf.
Backstory?
Narrows it down.
Do you know?
I know if the document hasn't changed from when I last read it, it's Tadiad.
That.
Sorry, Traherne, T, begins with a T.
Oh, Lady Traherne.
Yes,
Lady
right. Not Tadiad, T.
And the idea is that, these items are essentially supposed to be rare items, you know, interesting story to backstory to them, and the items that you can obtain over time. I know that Timbo's throwing around the idea of doing, you know, like Bob the Cat's collar, that sort of idea. Like these cool, like, hero items that you can obtain and have cool effects.
Awesome. As a bit, just a question here as well. Can we get some more information on what pieces of content offhands will be obtainable from, and from the mechanics by which we can get them?
So where you get them from hasn't been ultimately decided yet. We will probably try to we'll try to find a useful place to put them. We don't just want to round them in, similar to what Carl mentioned with Slayer creatures. We'd want them to feel like you're obtaining them from a sort of the skill itself, I imagine. But this is, you know, something that Timbo's like working on right now. He's forever changing things and trying to get the best thing out of it he can. But that is sort of information that we don't really have at the moment.
It's kind of come from a passion project place, isn't it?
It's one of his. Passion projects are so hot right now. It's Timbo's list.
Yeah,
is that what he called?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Ideas.
Yes.
Is there any chance? Because I saw a couple of players talk about would it come from Clue Scroller over the overhaul or from mining smithing? Is there? Will they be plugged into like stuff we've got coming out?
So I believe the answer to that is if it has a reasonable, like a useful avenue in which we can put it there, then yes. We want to try and make it obtainable from various things.
Right.
I don't think the example you saw with the 5 concepts. We would be releasing, I believe, 5. We want to release 5 at once if possible. Yeah. So there is a diverse, you know.
So it's not like sigils which come from very specific pieces of content. It's more that your aim is to spread it across.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, next up, Osborne, I'll come to you on this one, I think. Pieces of Hate, which is, of course, the pirate finale. We have concept art for this as well, so we'll bring this up. But what can we? Why the pirate? Finale over any other 5th Age storyline? Yeah,
you probably noticed when Og talked about this that we had a survey question and it came 3rd. First was the Slayer quests in terms of desirability for a continuing quest line. Slayer, that was always a curveball that we threw in there just out of curiosity to see how it does, because it's not really a quest line, and also obviously old schooler are going down that furrow with Dragon Slayer 2. Second came gnomes and then 3rd came pirates. But the thing is that pirates. Modraven had a design that was just like spot on. His design document for it as curator, like he really feels like the owner of that quest line, was just like brilliant. It was one of the best quest docs that I've seen. So it's just a case of, well, if something's really, really good, of course you're going to push it to the top. And also I don't want to be like mathematical about it and work through our unfinished business according to exactly what is desired. I think coming 2nd, or effectively 2nd, was good enough.
So you mentioned about his design doc being really good. I mean, what kind of stuff are we expecting with this?
It's very much a spiritual successor to Clockwork Syringe in that it's high on adventure as well as the humour. I think in the past ones you've had really gone overboard on the kind of knockabout humour, or really like if you go to Cabin Fever, didn't feel very piratey at all. I think Clockwork Syringe was the first one that really nailed the balance, and it takes a lot of the characters, the thrust of it, and also, you know, got this. I see it almost as a Rabbit Jack finale rather than a pirate finale. This is really about kind of ending that, because there can certainly be more pirate storylines, and we're building up to those afterwards.
Might be a little bit to talk about rewards or even requirements.
Yeah, I can't talk about rewards. We haven't got them yet. The important thing is we're getting the tone and the gameplay in particular locked down, because there are a number of like really interesting gameplay sequences. Rather than just being a fetch quest or a talkie quest, this is very much a kind of get involved and lean in and enjoy it quest. But there was also, I was hoping to show something, if that's all right. So I know we're not showing rewards.
Oh,
but
yeah,
yeah, a little sweetener of showing.
Are we showing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks really cool.
Meagor is notoriously one of the worst models in our game. I will admit that, along with Slaglith and Glod and a few others.
The old Black Knight Titan.
The old Black Knight Titan. So we are going to update him with the quest. So we're at a kind of modelling stage, grey boxing stage. But there's so much I love about this. I really love that his arm is just kind of tied up to his belt. That I don't know what's going on with his trousers, but I really like it. I want that look. the knees out look. But yeah, just kind of confirming that he has got a kind of surgeon mask crossed with, I don't know, accordion on the face, which really kind of works well.
Yeah, that looks so good. So I mean, after the pie finale, I mean, where do we go from there for quests?
Are you talking about this year or just?
Can be this year, the future, so on.
Yeah, and we wanted to do that kind of landmark. We were really going to do something big and well for a 5th Age quest, and so that was, you know, Pirate Quest. But we still have Evil Dave on the slate. I don't know if you you want to talk about that? Or?
It's really funny. Like, so it was Mod Timbo's hat project, and then Mod Chaplin was working on it, but he's since left us. So now I'm working on it, plodding away, sitting next to Ryan all day, just like.
Yeah, from Solak, so you know, Solak and the Grove to that.
Yeah, so it's
such a mix.
We had this great
spreading my wings a bit, like going into questing rather than being just combat. So
I was gonna say we had this really great, like, the first time we both saw it, we were just watching, like, playing through what Mod Chaplin had left us, and it was just so funny. It was just one of those situations where we didn't know what to expect, but like, it's genuinely funny quest.
It's a good quest. Yeah, it's humorous and it's light. It's not like a gods must die or the story.
Our voiceover problems are sorted.
Can we get a ramen audio?
Every time I do VO, like, people ask for it, but no. No, it's good.
And there was a previous live stream where I let slip that I was hoping to get a 3rd quest for this year, but that was one of my the thing I did for the Games Jam.
Yes, Needle.
But having thrown it out to feedback, it's a little bit complicated, unnecessarily complicated. So it needs a little bit of stuff at the start to just kind of get people on board. So that probably isn't this year.
Fair enough. Ryan, I'm coming over to you. Deep sea fishing.
Oh, what do you want to know?
Well, we have one concept image for this, and we also have a short video. So we'll bring up the image first.
Video for this one.
Well, it says a short video. No, okay, we have one concept image. Just bring that up, and then talk to us about it. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? I guess.
Yeah. So I can tell you originally where it started from. So the idea was something we want to do for skilling is bring back some of the intensity of making it so that it's more rewarding, the more intensive. But also trying to bring back some variation to skills. So something that I worked on just as a prototype in TAP was the idea that there was a fishing spot in which they moved a lot. So all the fishing spots were moving and you had to pay attention to where they were and click on them. And it was just building that intensive sort of gameplay into the skill. That evolved into the idea of deep sea fishing, which ultimately is taking that intensive method and putting it somewhere in the sea. Since then, deep sea fishing as a design has evolved quite a lot. And I've been working on it today. Kyle's seen, which is pretty funny. So I've been doing a lot of cool stuff, and the idea is that we're trying to get the community to be in a social place together. So it's fitting a lot of things we want to do with the diversity of skilling. Ultimately, allowing people to skill in the same area regardless of level. We want to just stop pushing people to the other sides of the map. At the same time, it's also introducing methods of, you know, do you want to play for money today or do you want to play for XP? It's trying to introduce, and also fun, back into skilling. Not saying skilling isn't fun, because I enjoy it, but it's one of those, you know, we can change up how fishing works, and this is one of those great places for it.
So with that, it becomes intensive. do we see this being the approach for future skilling content in skills?
So yes and no. So going forward, we want to make it so that skills are diverse. That as a player, you have the choice of how you want to train the skill, whether you want to be putting a lot of, I guess, say, effort into the skill today, or if you just want to be sitting back and Mark's favourite, what was it, net fish and chill, I think was his saying.
Wasn't expecting that.
The idea that you can just sit back and relax. But yeah, we ultimately want to be trying to do all of these things into a skill.
Do we have this skilling talk live on our YouTube right now?
Yeah.
Or we do. Okay, so you can check that out if you want to. It's on our YouTube now. You can watch the skilling talk from Mod Ryan and Mod Timbo. But if you would kind of summarize what you went through, are you able to kind of sum that up really quickly?
Sure. So 5-year plan, which covered diversifying skills, skilling endgame, skill reworks, new skill, potentially what we want to do with future 120 skills. Bringing back the sense of achievement, the wow factor, and making memories.
Key milestones.
Oh, and key milestones. Thanks. Sorry, I missed that.
Very good. All right. Next up, I think I'm going to stay with you on this one. Safecracking. We have an image to show for this one as well. But what's the premise behind Safecracking, and then why are we bringing it into the game?
Sure. Mod Shogun. This is Mod Shogun's idea. He was kind of fed up with me moaning about how thieving is a really weird skill. So he said, you know what, I'm going to make a thieving update, and he found a nice niche and like where it can fit. And ultimately, he wanted to do this idea that you can go around the game and crack safes. And so the design is in a current state where he wants it. I don't know if I can talk about. Can I talk about his design?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Why not? All right. So he's got it in the current situation where he wants the player to be able to move around the game into various castles, and you can essentially raid safes. Or treasure rooms as such.
Okay.
And ultimately you're working for the Thieves Guild, so it's an expansion to the Thieves Guild. And during this time you're going to earn sort of a new currency, a next tier of hanky points, so you're becoming like a master thief. Going on mini heists, I guess, is a good terminology for it.
So can it be done as in groups, or is there solo content only?
It's solo content, but you can do it together.
Right, okay.
We're not asking you to do it with other people. But you can go together and tell each other what things are happening because there are going to be some sort of, we're looking to build D&Ds into a skill, I guess. So something cool could happen at a certain castle. So you might message me and tell me, let's all go to this one, that sort of thing. So there is a social aspect, but it's a solo gameplay sort of feel.
Awesome. Ram, I'm going to come over to you. Solak. We have 2 screenshots to show you, bring them up on screen, but well, Solak, give us the idea of where it come from its prototype Ent that you showed us many months ago, of course, on Twitter, to where it's come to now.
Originally I was talking to Dave, and I was like, mate, I want to do the ambassador.
This is how we talk.
Yeah, I was like, I want to do the ambassador. And like, he was like, go for it. And then I walked over to character artist, and I was like, look at this big prawn, let's do it. And then he was like, oh man, I want to do a tree. And I was like, all right, let's do a tree. So I walked back over to Dave and was like, it's going to be a big tree. And then I started prototyping. I had an Ent, sorry. And then it kind of just evolved, and I tied it into the Lost Grove, and like keeping that a secret, like especially how excited I get over my bosses was difficult. And like I had to turn around to people on the morning of RuneFest, was like, oh yeah, no, sadly I'm working on Evil Dave. Just no time for combat updates anymore. Now I'm a proper content dev. So it was a nice surprise for them to see a boss get announced. But yeah, he started off. He's another tap starter. So kind of started building him, got him to a stage, and then went over to Dave. Was like, big tree, and Dave was like, release schedule, and that was it.
So is there anything you want to talk about the boss itself, obviously weapon-wise, requirement-wise, anything like that?
Yeah, so coming at the top end as a group boss, which, some people are like, I can't find, people to get a group with. And I already knew that going in because of AOD and raids. So despite still putting it at a group size of around 6 to 7, I decided that I'm going to make a duo version of it because, Araxor, despite being a solo boss, had a duo version, and like it works very well. It means I can take the group aspects of the mechanics and sort of tweak them just a little bit to work in duo mode. So yeah.
Anything you want to say about? Was there anything revealed about the weapons?
Nope, but you just spoiled it for the entire. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Your face.
Don't scare me like that.
Yeah, no. Weapons are tier 92 door.
Jeez. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's gone all next gen.
They'll be dropping in full from Solak. Sorry,
I
that
just
was mean.
realised what I said.
That was mean. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Streams gets me, I tell you. Alrighty. Any chance we may see new abilities dropped as codex with this boss?
Not gonna say.
Fair enough. Obviously, you know, we get harder to that. We'll wait and see.
We get to mention the damned yet?
No, we got a little while to go.
Excited.
I feel bad for Mohawk. Yeah, I agree.
I feel we
okay,
should
let
be
me
fair,
cut this up a little bit here so we can try and do this.
Remix.
Every sculpted script, what are you doing?
Your script doesn't appear to have questions on dimension. Oh no, it's called a DOTD. Right, there we go. Cool. All right, so we have a lot of images as well as the trailers. We have the audio with the trailer, do we know?
Oh, we have the trailer.
Shall we play the trailer first, and then we'll just let it play, and then we'll talk about it from there. That's
not that
solid.
big.
There we go.
That's my big tree.
All right, there you go. So fair play to the video team. What a
Nice.
pretty
Love that
awesome
trailer.
job. It's so good to see. So yeah, we'll pop up a couple of images that we have gotten in the game, and as we carry on, Mohawk, the floor is yours to talk about Dimension of the Damned.
So this is a time-limited survival mode, where basically first I'm going to apologise. I've got room flu, so if I start dying halfway through, I apologise. But yeah, so it's a survival-based game mode that's going to last for about 2 weeks. Split into 2 periods. There is a prep period and there is a finale period. Basically, you log in on your current account, and you will have a maxed player that hasn't got anything that your actual main character has. You'll get given a small selection of really quite naff prizes, and I've been actually really quite mean because you've got like a wooden sword, and that's it. And that's why I did actually give like 10 bronze arrows, but Jam was like, "Come on now, give them at least 50." So yeah, like 50 bronze arrows. And then yeah, you're set in Falador, where it's kind of safe, but then as soon as you go outside of Falador, there are zombies and they spawn everywhere and try and kill you and try and infect you and all this kind of thing. Your aim is to gear up, like try and get a high score. We're doing like a 1 hour time period scoring thing, so you can start a time period anytime you want, and you will get points for the next hour, after which it's submitted to a temporary high score system. Then got to get this right, otherwise Salem will shout at me. Up to the top 1,000, up to maybe round, yeah. Ask him. Will be put into the finale, which will last approximately 2.5 hours. It can last sooner if all the people that are in it are rubbish and die. But yeah, about 2.5 hours maximum. Sorry. Where you start again with another account, not another account, but another like freshly wiped, no items and stuff, and you have to survive for as long as you can. There'll be like dead zones spawning everywhere that you can't go in without dying, and so the world is slowly shrinking and getting everybody in the same place. And just your goal is to get the highest score, because every so often the lowest X amount of people will get called out of the game, and then last man standing gets prizes.
Cool.
Yay.
So I assume the prizes will be revealed a little closer to the time.
Yeah, we're not
Cool.
100% sure on what we want, but it's going to be a combination of in-game and real-life prizes.
All right, couple of points. Free to play?
Yes.
So free to play get the same content as members in
Yes,
this regard?
absolutely.
Okay. Will it be taking part on separate world/servers?
I hope that there is multiple. If there's not, then we're kind of restricting the amount of people that can play. But there should be
Cool.
multiple servers.
So just to clarify, everyone's going to start with the same gear the moment they go in?
Yes, all
Cool.
the same.
So I don't know if you can answer this, but I'm going to throw it over to you anyway. Whilst I mentioned the dam sounds interesting, there are concerns that new modes like this will split the RuneScape community further, and the offer of a free maxed account is likely to draw free-to-play players away from the main game. How do you plan to ensure that this doesn't happen and that the community remains as united as possible? Maybe one for you, Osborne.
I mean, it's a game mode which lasts for no more than 2 weeks, and literally, if you
Fair
want
enough.
to, you can go in, play for 1 hour, get a high score, and then leave again.
Treat it as a holiday event kind of thing. And just
Yeah.
go in.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
majority of people are going to turn up, get their own achievements in there,
Yeah.
not necessarily compete for the invitational element of it, and
Yeah,
just
because
have a good time.
there's also community rewards which people can work towards together.
Yeah.
So they might just be interested in that.
So is there a future possibility of this kind of event happening again, depending on like how it goes and stuff?
Yeah, if people like it, I think we'd be up for running it again. But
Sure.
I don't think it would ever be like permanent, always running alongside.
Yeah, I think it was permanent. It would kind of lose its appeal a
Yeah.
little bit. So yeah, I think that's a.
And then that question becomes more valid if it's
Yes.
permanent. We have to have plans for that.
So trailer said in October. Do we have specifics of when we're looking to open it?
So it starts with the update on the 16th. We'll run for a week and a half until the Thursday, and then the finale will be on the Saturday evening, like 7, 8 o'clock-ish time.
All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to add on top of that at all?
Play it.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, next up on our little list here, Group Ironman, or Ironman, I should say. Group Ironman.
Yo.
Woo.
Yay.
We're actually happy.
These guys have been pushing for it for a while, so
Right.
yeah, it's good.
How many people per group?
That is a good question.
Yeah, it's kind of undecided.
Yeah.
Like, Ryan's throwing around some numbers, I've thrown around some numbers. We need to like really sit down and figure out what works best. You know, if there's too many people, it just becomes too easy. If there's too little people, you can't do certain bits of content. It's a big thing to think about.
If players in your group go inactive, will you be able to find another group? And if so, will there be restrictions on this so people don't abuse it?
So that is probably one of the biggest issues we're thinking about right now, because you're right. You know, say we start a squad. Sorry, I keep calling it Iron Squad, but yeah, say we start an Iron Squad, and Kyle decides to leave my squad. Then what do I do if I'm on my own? We would like to try and find a way in which to to allow you to still participate. The problem is we don't want people to feel like they can just because you're going to be able to. The idea is that you'll be able to trade with your squad. We don't want you to essentially be able to take an item from me and then decide you just want to go with another squad now.
Yeah.
That sort of infiltration and that sort of thing. At the same time, so there are restrictions there. But I mean, to be honest, it's also part. What do these guys? What do you guys as players want from it? Do you want to be able to rejoin other squads? That's the thing. It is just probably one of the biggest issues we have to think about right now. So we don't have an answer for that right now.
Do we know if we're going to look to have high scores for this?
I'm 99% sure we definitely should do. So
Yes.
99% sure you definitely should do.
Right, we definitely should do. I'm 99% sure we're going to.
Right, got it.
And if not, then we'll go and ask for them. So
Yes.
Cool. Will there be a way to differentiate a solo Ironman and a group Ironman?
yes, there should be.
Cool.
Be a different flair of some kind.
Yeah.
So now with group Ironman coming up, would you guys consider Ultimate Ironman mode in the future?
We discussed this earlier. So I think so from a personal point of view, I think that Ultimate Ironman doesn't work as well in RS than it does in old school.
So just to clarify, can you clarify how it works in old school?
Yeah,
Just
so
people are aware.
Ultimate Ironman is essentially just, you don't have access to, it's an Ironman plus where you don't have access to a bank. So
Right.
you have to do everything from your 28 slot inventory. We have a lot of content in RS, and there's just a lot of things going on that I feel Ultimate Ironman is a very niche case. It's also a lot of work to some degree of doing, and I think that Group Ironman is definitely a way bigger focus. It's not to say we wouldn't do it. It's just one of those things where I haven't seen a significant want for it to warrant it. When we originally released Ironman, we released Hardcore and Normal. At the same time, Old School did Ultimate and Normal. but yeah, maybe it's something I should talk to the old school team about, see what they feel on the case. But yeah, I haven't seen enough want for it at the moment.
Cool. I know it wasn't in the reveals, but where are we with combat pets? Because obviously I saw the tweet you did as well, which is pretty awesome. A little teaser of one of the animations.
Yeah.
So how are we looking on that?
We are very close in terms of, we've made significant progress. So Mod Hing, he's been animating the pets for the last month or so, and he's smashed it. I haven't given him enough credit for it. He's really smashed it out. We've done 4 pets have been fully animated. So that's Sifu, the attack pet. Kangali is currently being animated, which is the strength pet. Defense pet Wallace has been animated.
Is it Monty?
Morty, the
sorry.
Constitution pet has been animated, and Newton, the magic pet, has been animated. So the only ones we're really waiting on is finish Kangali, Sharmini, Ghostly, and Sparky. Gotta remember.
Nice.
Good work.
Very nice. Cool. Is there anything else, not even just combat pets, but anything else like from ninjas or anything like that could be useful to talk about while we're here?
Put me on the spot.
Revolution went down really well.
Yes, Revolution
that's not
plus.
ninja.
But I mean, it's not ninja, but I mean, it's from RuneFest, so.
I mean, yeah, so we were able to talk about it. So Mod Pi, in the combat reveals, the combat talk mentioned Revolution plus plus. So that is basically the idea that Revolution will now take into account thresholds and ultimates, and you'll also be able to customize the size of your Revolution bar, which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is really far along in terms of development. We need to test it, and some of the guys are going to be looking at that as soon as possible. Yeah, that's the state of that.
Awesome. I'm going to bring it over to clans for you, Mr. Osborne. Clans felt like the most least elaborated part of the reveals. Can you go into more detail about what you're doing right now to improve clans in RuneScape?
Yeah, we kind of broke our own rules for one update because we really wanted to get across what we're looking to change about how we make content next year. And so it's not only clans, but kind of more social play. Probably heard, like, you just have to look at some of the stuff we're talking about today, Group Ironman, deep sea fishing, Dimension of the Dam. They're all very kind of multiplayer focused. We want to keep that going. Clans is less kind of worked out because we haven't started yet. It's the one example of an update that we haven't started. So what we've got is odd multi-areas gathering together everything that we have. So that includes all of the stuff that has been gained from clan leaders. Already got that, so we're not going to go out any further. I might talk to a few more perhaps, but largely we have what we want. Talk to a lot of the clan-focused devs, kind of Mod Maz, Mod Matt-He, who have been involved in clans in the past and what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And so gathering kind of our wants or my wants as well. So Mod Mark kind of communicated those, like the dream of clans being like a bit of endgame. Like clans owning or winning servers, like this is our server because we are dominant here, or owning skilling spots or combat spots, and the idea of a new player or a lapsed player coming in and just immediately finding that they can be in a clan, make it a bit easier to do that. So there's a few things that we're all bundling together. And there are, I've talked to some devs who are really interested in doing it. So gone are the days of, all the spaghetti code and things like that, and all the not wanting to work on it.
Spaghetti code.
Can I make an official rule on this stream that we never ever refer to our code as spaghetti code anymore?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are people who really want to work on it,
right?
And they feel that it's doable. So that's very much next year.
Awesome. All right, got some more general questions, so anyone chip in here as you wish. Would you consider allowing more tap time to staff? A lot of the community's favourite updates this year have come as a result of tap or game jam projects. Yeah, so there's going to be more news of this soon, but we are doing a bit of a restructure, changing how we make things. Okay. With a lot of the teams. The aim is, you just got to look at all the updates we're talking about. A lot of this has come from Places of Passion and tap projects. Like, how can we make almost every day at work feel like tap? Because the work is better. You just look at the Lost Grove, for example. Yeah. And
cheers. I just realised what you said.
That's come from a place of passion. So if we can get that, but also meet in the middle with what the players want, what unfinished business is demanded of. If we can get those two to meet, then I think that we're going to be in a really exciting place. So we're changing the structure so that can happen.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Can I answer a question that came up in the chat? So Ultimate Ironman, they raised a really good point. We have dungeoneering, which really breaks the whole idea of doing something
Oh,
about
yes, of
banking,
course.
because I don't know what you do with any of your items when you go into dungeoneering. So
You drop it.
that's also a very big, yeah.
You grind,
You-
you grind your tokens for your-
You max
your
DG
green.
first.
Max DG
You'd have to max
first,
DG
yeah, yeah,
first.
Well, that's how you train your crafting.
You're getting into the realms of RuneScape again. It's like order,
Yeah.
the order you train.
You have to plan your order, yeah.
I remember that.
With the future release of the Hex Hunter bow and gear diversification being discussed at RuneFest, I'm surprised I even said that word properly, are there any plans to slightly buff any current gear, rubber claws, port armor, set effects, or automaton gloves to make them situationally the best gear to use?
So I wouldn't say there's any plans for those specific items, but we've definitely been discussing recently, like, because of diversity, we want items to have their niche. We don't want to power creep forever. That's an issue that we've discussed. So creating items or making items have their niche, such as Hex Hunter bow in this example, is really good. Something like the Death Book has been a discussion recently. It's not as useful as we wanted it to be, and that's something we as a Combat Council have on our list of things to revisit. I don't know about those ones you specifically mentioned, if they're on there, but it sounds as if we should be looking at them.
Well, I mean, if we're looking at the Death Book, then it shows that we are obviously
Yes.
looking at situations, so that's good. Is it the Combat Council's intention to make Lean Forward Revolution no longer viable for top-level bossing by buffing full manual way ahead of it?
What? No.
No.
Cool. All right, so let's just get into it straight away. So Revolution, obviously, you can use it for bossing, but if you want your optimal DPS, full manual's the way, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to clear that out of the way straight away, just to clarify that question. Anything more you can tell us about the Hostilius, the Autocrat boss? It isn't revealed as being worked on, but during the announcement and lore marathon, he was mentioned.
Can you repeat the question? I know about it was about Hostilius, and is it actively being worked on? Which is the answer to that is yes.
But is there anything more you can tell us? Just
It's
simple as that.
Modpie's tap project.
There you go.
I've seen it. It looks cool. But like, I don't want to say too much.
Of course.
It's his baby. Like, I know what it's like to have.
Cool. Oh yeah, of course.
So yeah, no, it's his tap project. He's excited about it, which is really awesome to see. I'm excited about it. So yeah, I can't wait to get inside Hostilius. Yeah.
Alrighty. If there's anything you guys want to take from the chat, I'll give you just a quick minute to double check. But I mean, in the meantime, I think we've come to the end of all the questions. Just double checking here.
Yeah, I mean, there were questions about mining and smithing and when that's coming. Mining and smithing, we are so determined to get it in first half of next year. That's our aim. But you know, things happen, and you know, we want to talk to the community. It might be that we expand the design. That could always get pushed beyond that. But yeah, we're starting work.
Cool. All right. I think I'll use this as a chance to get ready to wrap up then. So for next week, we have, of course, the October month ahead stream. So we will be streaming here next week with what you can expect in the upcoming month of October. And we have a special surprise for next week, which will be announced in the October month ahead video. As another additional note,
Surprised.
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't know what that is. But anyway, as another note, Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park just shared the wisp on Twitter.
Oh, that's sick. That's really sick. That's really
I
sick.
thought I'd mention that there. That's pretty awesome. As an additional note, Virtual RuneFest is in-game until next Monday. Raffle. Do you want to bring that up as well?
Sure, what am I talking about?
About the raffle.
When's
Do you know
it?
when's it
Oh,
expiring?
sorry. So the raffle is, I believe, the last day for the raffle is next Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Because we released it on a bank holiday Monday, so we released it on a Tuesday. He will stay in game for the rest of next week. He'll just be there to tell you that the raffle's over, but he'll be removed in the week after. But yeah, that's the last chance to enter the raffle, so make sure you use all your tickets before then.
Awesome.
Did you want to say anything about the charity?
I was about to jump. I mean, I wasn't too sure if I could say anything on that, so I'll leave it to you.
I don't. Did we decide it was okay? I assume so.
We'll save it for next week.
We'll save it for
Okay,
next week.
yeah.
Right, okay. I imagine it'll be in the month ahead anyway, so that's fine. We can talk about it then, along, of course, with November Fest, which is going to be pretty cool. And as a final note, the RuneFest, Varrock stage and circus stage talks. There's a picture of November Fest, by the way. I'm just going to put this down now.
You're going so fast. That's the thing. Fast. It's like 88 miles an hour.
Right, yeah, that's probably that. But anyway, the RuneFest, Varrock and Circus stage talks are going up over the next few days. They were the ones we recorded on Twitch and YouTube. They'll be going up on our YouTube channel over the next couple days, so you can keep an eye out for that. There is a lot there. Lore, combat, skilling, Raiders of the Lost Art, just everything in between. There's so much stuff we went through, actually, now you look back on it.
Yeah, but Raiders of the Lost Art in particular, there's some gems in there. If people haven't watched it, there's a whole motion comic that was shown for Nomad's Elegy, which is really good. So do go watch.
Oh, wow, okay, there you go. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that one. Do we know what we are next releasing tomorrow?
Combat tomorrow.
So the Combat Talk tomorrow. So if you haven't seen that, you can keep an eye out on our YouTube channel and watch it back on that. So going to be a good one, and you can obviously see some of the stuff that Raman mentioned in the stream already. But apart from that, I think that'll bring it to the end, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for joining us, as always. It's great to have you back, by the way, after missing RuneFest. So yeah, seriously, welcome back. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Take care, have yourselves a wonderful night, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See ya.